every year in the National Football League, we think we have things figured out, and then a player or two comes along and completely changes what we view of them, of their team, and in some cases, the league. So, now is the time to run through who I think are the 5 best candidates to have a breakout season in the NFL this year. It is time to look at our breakout potential stars for the NFL as the NFL season preview continues here with Couch Potato Diary. These aren't necessarily in any order. They're just 5 players that I think have a chance to kind of level up this year. Coming in at number 1, again, he's the first one we're talking about. It's Keon Coleman. I think he has the biggest the biggest breakout potential of all of the guys on that roster and maybe in the NFL. Still a big dude. That's probably not going to change. I think he is a really, really solid receiver. It was year 1. I think a lot of guys, he was productive enough in year 1 that I think you can still expect there to be a jump in year 2 and kind of solidify himself as really that guy. I just think we just look at that situation and it's him, it's Shakir, it's okay, whatever. It's just some pass catchers. It's Josh Allen. But I think we forget this was a pretty high draft pick for the Buffalo Bills a couple of drafts ago. And again, he has the size, he has the I guess catch radius, all these different things. He's not a slow individual at all. He has some big breakout potential. And I think that there is a world where we are talking about this guy as like a fantasy football MVP this season. Shout out to Toxic in the Twitch chat. I see the Blue Jays question. I will get to that after I'm done here with the breakout players for the NFL. We'll take a pause from our football talk to throw some Blue Jays in for the live stream today. Coming in as my next breakout candidate in the NFL, it is Josh Hines-Allen. I think that this is obviously like he has broken out in terms of being a good NFL player. But I think of the players that I have on this list, he has the best potential to make it into the top 10 list next season. That's how good I think this guy can be. Like, I think he can be that dude as a game wrecker on the edge for Jacksonville. I think the one thing that kind of slows them down is that this defense isn't awesome to begin with. So you can kind of clue in just on that guy. But I think that he has had enough flashes that I believe he is going to be someone that can really break through as like a dominant, oh, that's a guy in the upcoming season here for Jacksonville. My next one is Laiatu Latu with the Indianapolis Colts. Pass rusher, 4 sacks last season. He feels like the kind of guy that Lou Anarumo is going to absolutely thrive with and just have a whole lot of fun playing around with him as a pass rusher. And so I think when you looked at Latu last year, again, relatively high draft pick, relatively well thought of draft prospect, on a defense that was just as white bread as you could find. So bland. They didn't really mix anything up. It was a very predictable, very blah defense. I think now with one that is going to be a little bit creative anytime, this is going to be a year that Latu can thrive in. So this is a guy that I think is going to cause some major problems for quarterbacks in the AFC South and just the AFC in general in the upcoming season. We still have a couple picks left. Both of them could help you out in fantasy football this year, but do want to remind you that Couch Potato Diary, things are always changing. So keep it locked to my social media. I am at Primetime Klein on Instagram, X, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, all social media platforms. I am at Primetime Klein. The next breakout star I think that we could be having in the NFL this season. He just got a shout out from Taylor Swift on the New Heights podcast. It is Xavier Worthy. He's not a number 1. I don't think he's ever going to be a number 1. But if Rice can fill that role as the number 1 guy with Kansas City, then all of a sudden Xavier Worthy becomes a really scary deep threat as a number 2 guy. And then if Hollywood Brown can do kind of along with whether it's Kelce or I think Noah Gray is still going to have something to say about this offense this year, if those guys can get the intermediate stuff, Xavier Worthy is the guy who can take the top off of a defense. And I think like elite speed and someone who I still think can be a very good receiver at the NFL level. I think having him with Kansas City and just having the other things around there to not put so much attention on that guy and just be able to kind of put a parachute on this and stop them. I think given that the weapons I do believe are going to be a little bit better this year with the Chiefs and everyone's going to fit a little bit better, I think he has the potential to have a major breakout year for Kansas City. And the last one here, we're bookending with Buffalo Bills. It is Dalton Kincaid. I think that he is still an incredibly talented tight end. He didn't thrive last year. It was not a great situation for him. And then when he was given opportunities, he didn't do all that much with them. But this is year 3 now as a tight end. Year 1, he was very good. And last year was a little This is a good football player. This is a good tight end. This is a guy that we were excited about. And this is around the time tight ends start to show what they can actually do. Brock Bowers is the exception to this, not the rule, right? So I think that people are just dismissing Kincaid a little bit too quickly. He is someone that I certainly would have my eye on if you miss out on some of the higher level tight ends in your draft. We're going to do a lot more fantasy football stuff, by the way, coming up in the next little bit. Going to have a bunch of mock drafts with the podcast, probably starting maybe even as early as this weekend, honestly, but certainly starting next week. We'll be doing the mock draft thing. I don't know how many of those I'm going to be able to do live. We've been kind of riding the edge of the lightning bolt technologically here for a little bit. It looks like everything's working today, but I don't know how much I want to throw a whole lot onto right now. So those might be just pre-recorded. We can chat about them after or something along those lines. But yeah, want to be working in a lot more fantasy football talk here on Couch Potato Diary as we roll along.